Well, my family was obviously proud of my decision to join the military, the Navy specifically. My grandfather served in the Air Force during World War II. He was a pilot, flew B-24s, and so he was obviously very proud that I was going to do that. My father was in the Army for 2 years. He was drafted, but he did two years, and he enjoyed his time. I guess. I think the hook for me was just a chance to be part of something that was bigger than yourself. To me, that was kind of like, oh wow, I sit there and think about that, and that was pretty neat. I guess that idea. Here you are, 19 years old. You just graduated high school, or I've been out of high school for a year actually, and just wasn't sure what direction I want to take my life. And when somebody says that to you, it's kind of like, wow, it's just kind of impressed by, I guess, the whole thing.
Well, I come from a long line of soldiers. The first was my grandfather, Sergeant Major Dave Snook, and he built bridges in Germany in the World War. And my father is a retired colonel of the Army, and he flew giant helicopters and did logistics. And lastly, right now, my brother is currently serving in the Army, and he just came back from his 3rd tour in Iraq. So for me, being from a family of soldiers, it's been some hard times. There have been years when my father was overseas and it was just us kids and my mother.
A lot of my time was spent up in the Arctic Circle. I was on an icebreaker, 400-foot ship, the Coast Guard cutter Polar Star. Our primary mission was, our ship was basically scientific research and opening up shipping lanes so supply ships could get in.
My daughter, Nikita Hall, she's in the United States Navy. She used to be a former employee of the city of Missouri City. She worked in the inspections and the public works department. I think it was a good decision because she's the first person in my family line that ever joined the service, and I think that's a good accomplishment, that she broke the ice.
I was at that place in my life to where it was kind of like, okay, it was stagnant and nothing was going on. I was working at a certain grocery chain, and I was kind of like, okay, I think I need to do a little bit more than what I'm doing.
Veterans Day does mean a lot to me, and not because I served in the service, but mostly because of others that have before me and after me. That's who I think of, especially all the ones that have given so much more than I ever have, and are still giving that.
To me, it means, when individuals step up and make a sacrifice for their country when others will not. I really think that's it, period, because I think like when they had the draft, you didn't really have a choice about going to the military, but now you do have a choice, because courage is taking that next step without the guarantee of success. So you got to say, you know what, I'm going to make this decision because I know it's going to be beneficial to everyone.
I can't imagine in the United States that there's someone who's not familiar with it. But this is the day of the year that we remember how many of our neighbors and family members have gone off to foreign countries and have fought there and been in really horrible, scary conditions and have sacrificed time away from their families and their lives to make sure that our lives here are safe. And it's a wonderful day to remember them and thank them for that.
All Americans should take a minute to just reflect on the fact that we are here. We have the things, the freedoms that we have because others before you from George Washington and his troops back during the Revolution, all the way to now with what's going on in the Middle East. People have sacrificed and been willing to make the sacrifice to make sure those freedoms endured. And I'd like to thank them for their service and continued service to our country, and let them know that there are people back here that remember what you do on a daily basis and are grateful for that.
I always was a person who was very sensitive about Veterans Day. I always gave donations when they come around asking for donations or help to help veterans who were disabled. I was a big advocate of that, and so when she did it and Veterans Day came around, I felt like, now it's not just giving to everybody else, I'm giving for my daughter as well. She's going to be on the ship for 6 months out in the sea. I'm going to miss her, but I will still continue doing what I've been doing before she even joined the service, helping veterans who are disabled.
It's a time where you should just make a sacrifice for just one day for somebody who is a veteran. And that could be anything. That could be providing a meal, going to the VA to visit some of those guys who are currently back from Afghanistan or Iraq, and visit with those people who don't have family. Because sometimes a lot of veterans, come home, and some of them come home when they don't have families.
I pray that they make it, that everything be good for them, and that they have a moment that they can talk to their family as well.
I would say just keep your eye on what you're doing. It's for a greater cause. I think our country means a lot to us, means a lot to me. And thank you for your service, and thank you for letting us have the freedoms that we do. That's it.
Just happy Veterans Day to all the veterans that are out there. We're so proud of you. Thank you.
It is different to see how veterans are treated. I mean, everybody for the, we get, this divisions coming home and everybody's happy. And next thing you know, after a week has passed, everybody's forgotten about these guys. It doesn't just stop when they get off the plane and get on the bus and make the drive from Intercontinental or Hobby Airport, and everybody's happy to see them at the meeting place. But what happens the week after when this guy, needs somebody to talk to? And I hope I'm not going into much detail, but it just doesn't stop with just the one day of Veterans Day. I think Veterans Day and the way veterans should be treated should be 365 and not just one day.